Hello, myself Sunil Ramkrishnan. Basically, here we are discussing the formula word basically. That is basically 148th number. Till 147, we have discussed lots of things about the formulas, formula attributes. How basically before formula attributes, basically we should have a knowledge of this all the things basically. So here basically we have discussed that chartered accountant industry basically might get this something unique basically calculation, that is basically balance sheet plus balance sheet minus balance sheet divided by balance sheet. So this basically types of calculation, even chartered accountant, even costing department also might not have done. So they might have done balance sheet, they have prepared thousands of balance sheet, but balance sheet calculation, I don't think this might have done. So here basically we are not discussing about that. Here basically now we are discussing the topic that is basically uh, the calculation of balance sheets basically. Balance sheet, that is basically the earned value calculation, the actual cost calculation, that basically contains hundreds of balance sheets and calculated by the certain groups basically. So here basically if one country is calculating one balance sheet, then basically you can just imagine the calculation which is getting inside the balance sheets, because one country is creating one balance sheet, that actually I'm telling. So like this, there are hundreds of balance sheet in just one attribute, that is of formula basically. So there are many formulas, hundreds of formulas are there in the project management plan. And project management plan is the base of the software industry also, you can say. On the base of this only the each and every project basically the software companies are getting, the software industries are getting the income, the software employees are getting the income. So base is this only, that is project management plan. Each and every sectors basically are how the sectors are basically getting calculated. So Microsoft industry, so Microsoft is one big company, so Microsoft have their own many small software company, because Microsoft directors, projects are basic project manager, even basically this all small developer also basically are running in crores of rupees. So they have many software companies basically with them. So like this only the each and every small software companies are also created. So big companies are basically directly connected with the small companies. So like this, the connection of this is getting on. So here basically now our topic is the Microsoft designed. So software industry basically itself is a very big industry, right? That is the main thing, right? Software industry is itself is the big industry, and that is created by the Bollywood industry. So how big the Bollywood industry would be? That is the basically concern. So here basically we will discuss the uh, and few people says that software industry is the best management side industry. Means to manage any task, software group basically knows how to manage each and every task basically. The software industry basically knows how to manage each and every task. So basically, you can just imagine who created the software industry, who created the user stories of the softwares that are basically Bollywood, how they might be managing each and every things. So we will be discussing that little bit about it, not detail, basically detail to discuss. That's basically it's very it's going to take lots of time. So we will discuss little bit about the Bollywood industry, how they are working. So first, basically, this basically things which we are discussing, that few points basically we have already discussed about the volume and how they have calculated software industry also in this entire user story. That also we will see how they are connecting the software industry and how software industries are getting used. That also we will see. So here basically assume that in Bollywood industry there are theaters, serials, and movies. So when the movies gets creates, that by default converts into energy. So that can't directly converts into energy. It's very difficult, because if it's converted into energy, that means it's converted into blood cells and it's directly connecting the nuclear area basically. So that to create one nuclear energy, there are lots of process basically has to be happen. So Bollywood has created one process basically, we can say that basically we can say like that, see, theaters are there, right? In theaters, basically they filters the each and every scenes. Basically, you can say. For example, there are this. For example, this point basically we have already discussed. This point which I have done. There are 17 scenes basically in one movie. So they have filtered all the 17 scenes and they have categorized and they have created one story in the theater basically. So they have created the scenes in the theater, the set of users basically you can say, the set of experts basically, that also we can give them a name. They saw that they saw this theater round basically. So like this the theater round basically they have saw like this they told that yeah basically this can be improvement, this can be improvement, this we can do the improvement here basically we can do the improvement there basically we can do the improvement. Like this the improvement has done and then basically the data of the theater has passed to the serials industry. So serial industry basically that are many channels basically created, so they have got the authority to publish the serial in the in front of the public. For that, basically, they have created lots of channels. Basically, so here few channels are ZTV is there, Sony is there, Star Plus is there. Many channels are there. ZTV is there. So many channels are basically there. Like in Malayalam, basically Manorama is there, Asianet is there. Like the Surya is there, and many channels are basically there. So like this serials channels are basically there, and like this channel have the authority to publish the serial in front of the public. So public is watching the theater, sorry, watching the serials through channel media. The media is the channel basically, and the television from television basically they are watching the movie. There are many ways to watch the channels also. The mobile is there, Android applications are there. Nowadays the tabular format is there, tablet is there, laptops are there. There are many ways basically you can see the channels basically. In channel basically there are many theater serials basically which has basically filtered from the theater areas, and basically the serials are written in the serial format so that it can be visible in the particular screen basically. So like this the serials are created, and that basically was approved by the experts also before basically it comes in front of the public. So for there very many directors are there, many writers are there basically who keeps on implementing the serials. So like this, the serial got created, and it went in front of public, and the public opinion poll basically come into picture. Lots of things happened, like this. The 17 to 18 scenes basically which was created for that serials was created. Whether the serial that 1780 scenes clicked in front of public or not, that basically was watched by the Bollywood industry. Like this basically they have watched each and every 17 to 18 screen, and then basically the Bollywood industry told that yeah basically this improvement can be done, and the improvement has done, and then the movie basically came into picture. Like this after that all the filtration has done, then the movie came into picture and the movies was. So like this basically the people basically who is going to create the movie, they basically watches the theaters also basically. They watch the serials also basically. They watch the public opinion poll also basically. So it's basically hero actors and Bollywood's hero actors basically gets the money, but there are many works, the hard work also basically they are doing. So like this, they are earning more than 100 crores from one movie. So basically, 100 crore is there when lots of work are also there. Basically. So like this, the producer directors also earns the money because all the 17, 18 scenes basically which was created, the energy which was created, that was basically clicked in front of public. Then only basically they released the movie. Then the movie was got released and really it clicked according to that. So like that basically like this idea basically got popular. So like this they start creating like this. But this basically public never can able to track. This only basically it's a Bollywood industry area. So they only watches the each and everything, and they only have the nobody basically in Mumbai basically theater happens, right? The theater nataks basically this happens only in Mumbai basically. So this type of thing, each and every Bollywood industry is in Mumbai only. So like this Bollywood industry, this is basically something management of the Bollywood industry basically. Yes. So here basically where software industry comes into picture, because software industry is also basically one of the industry which is created by this Bollywood industry. So Bollywood in the software industry itself is a big large industry, because top 20 richest person of the earth planet, in this basically 7 to 8 people are from software industry. Not 7 to 8, it's more than 7 to 8. So like this basically you can just imagine the each and every movies getting created, each and every serials, each and every theaters getting created, where basically the software industry is getting fit here, and how they are getting how they are getting the job also. Getting the job means basically you can say how they are how Microsoft is getting the project, how SAP is getting the project, how Microsoft is I have basically 1,000 human needs energy, and 1,000 human needs energy means it's energy basically you can say. So how he is how he is basically handling these all energies, plus basically he's increasing his human needs energy also from the Microsoft energy, and how basically he gets the project, how basically Microsoft is aware about this all the thing, that basically his work is basically coming from Hollywood, Bollywood. So mostly it's basically by default. Basically, if one normal person like Sunil or Nair can track this, then the Microsoft is a big person basically, so he can easily basically can able to track this. Their management industry basically, that are basically business development group basically, they can easily track this all the thing. Basically, it's not a big task basically to track basically why how they are getting the work basically. So Microsoft have basically thousands of human needs already created on the base of certain user stories. Like this, the Microsoft corporation got created. Like this, many basically softwares are created, and in this base software, basically Microsoft is creating its own softwares. Basically, you can say that is basically CRM. So Microsoft corporation itself is creating CRM software, and Microsoft basically you can say directors. There is no project in this world basically of Microsoft which has basically given to other than Microsoft Group. So you can just imagine the management skill basically how the things are getting managed. Because for example, there are basically one software company that is basically only having the Microsoft products. So that company owner basically is directly connected with Microsoft. So he's directly connected with Microsoft because he might be doing some job in Microsoft, or he might be his boss might basically might be doing some job in Microsoft, or his boss also might be doing some job in Microsoft. So like this, basically, Microsoft has never basically you can say filtered his income to other than Microsoft, because it's a huge responsibility basically you can say. Because if any of the project gets messed, basically messed means basically you can say gets lost, basically you can say that this project has basically somebody has done, but that was not able to tracked means the energy was not able to track. So that basically it's a huge irresponsibility basically you can say. So that type of work basically never Microsoft do. That's why basically Microsoft has created its own chain basically you can say. It's a huge big chain basically, that also you can say, which Microsoft has created. And Microsoft has its own entire software industry, where basically the Microsoft is doing his tasks. So like this, basically, software industry is one of the business management example, basically. You can say. So how basically Bollywood industry is handling this all the thing. So that basically we are discussing, not in detail, but little bit about. So first basically phase we have already discussed. That is basically the theater, the serials, the Bollywood industry creates the movies, and in this basically three, software industry is also getting their projects. because if one movie is getting created, that's basically on the base of certain places, that is basically by default on the base of, it might be on the base of certain characters basically, that this character has played this type of role and he has earned and he has achieved lots of achievement. So basically movie was created, but he connects with the places, right? Is that is by default basically. For example, he achieved lots of things, but he has achieved the stuff basically, but that is basically achieved on the base of certain place only, right? He's sitting at the certain place, he's getting the project from certain place. So that by project means what? That is basically set of data. So data are basically connected with what? Set of Aadhaar cards and PAN card basically, a set of passports where basically the physical address are by default there. So that directly basically indirectly basically it's connecting to physical place only. So like this basically the Bollywood industry is telling that the software industry itself is so deeply connected, like Microsoft equal to created from thousands of cities. So thousands of cities basically, you can just imagine to create one city basically it takes 20 lakh crore rupees basically. Just this is basically minimum amount basically I'm telling. So to create one city, if it's taking 20 lakh crore, then there are thousands of cities basically which is created by Microsoft. And like this Salesforce are there, PHP is there, Python is there, C is there, C++ is Java is there. Like this you can just imagine basically the complexity basically which software industry is handling very smoothly basically. It's very manageable way basically you can say. So like this software industry is handling each and every stuff in manageable way with the help of the set of user stories created by the Bollywood industry. So on the base of that only basically the software industries are getting ongoing. And the Microsoft is telling that we have basically set of user stories, and the base of that only basically we are able to create the Microsoft Corporation. And we have created thousand cities and thousand human needs also basically we have created. And we are ongoing basically, that also you can say. So we are basically ongoing and we are ongoing creation of the Microsoft Corporation. So like this, the software industry is ongoing. So basically, software industry is created by the Microsoft industry, by the Bollywood industry, and Bollywood industry basically telling that we are basically handling each and every management level stuff on the base of our user stories. Basically, you can say, and we have handled many categories. So in this many categories, software industry is just one category for us. So you can just imagine the software industry itself is a big, huge manageable task, and the soft Bollywood industry is telling that this is basically just small stuff basically for us. We are just handling this category, and on the basis of this category, the entire software industry is getting created, and it's getting manageable very easily. So there are how many human needs basically are created from the Microsoft, that also basically we know, and which type of energy basically Microsoft human needs are getting created, that also we know. So like this, Salesforce is generating how many human needs, SAP is generating how many human needs, and PHP, Python, Python, C, C++, and Java. So you can just imagine basically the deepness level, the knowledge basically Bollywood industry has. So this is basically a little bit about the Bollywood industry, how Bollywood industry is telling that we have created the entire software industry, and how easy it's for Bollywood to handle each and every stuff of the manage in the manageable language basically, you can say, in the manageable way basically you said. Because lots of people say that software industry itself is an example of easily manageable stuff tasks basically software industry do. So Bollywood is telling that we have handled this all, we are created the entire software industry. So we are basically handling the we basically are handling the software industry, and software industry is just one category for us. So like this basically we have created thousands of categories, and we are handling this all this thing. So this is basically 148th number part. In 149th we are going to discuss a little bit more about the software industry and the Bollywood industry.